art project that we'll be working on today follows on from our zine episode, in which we used old newspapers, magazines and old books, some plain paper, some glue and some scissors. And today we'll be creating our very own Surrealist style collage. If you're not familiar with the Surrealist art movement, you think of artists like Salvador Dali or Rene Magritte, and in their works they really tried to create a sense of a dreamlike space. In your collage today, you'll be working to make a wacky nonsense collage that may replicate a dream or something like that. So you can see this is my example, and things aren't quite what they seem. So you can work on any size of paper that you like. I've chosen A3 just so I have lots of room to work in, but any size paper is fine. The first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to collect a range of images for backgrounds for my collage, and we want them to be lots of different environments. So think about the desert, the beach, mountains, even an indoor environment would be fine. So just select a few of those and we're going to work to see which one's going to work best for our final collage. Now I'm a fan of just rounding the corners a little bit, but because this scene's a bit of a mountain scene, I think I might round it into a bit of a point at the top, because that kind of encapsulates the meaning or the subject as well. There we go. So that's my shape that I'm going to work with today. The next step is to search through your magazines, books or newspapers, whatever you've got, and select some interesting imagery and cut it out. My challenge to you is to select some images that are, or subjects that are animals, people, food, and just any kind of objects as well. So 4 different categories for you to select from. We want it to look really unusual, so think about things that really don't go together, like a cat swimming underwater or a fish in a desert. The next step is to start to think about how these images might fit into your background. So start working with where things fit. If something's quite large, maybe it should be in the foreground. If it's a smaller picture, put it further towards the background. That's going to help create depth in the artwork. So this pie that I've cut out here, I think that would make a really interesting abstract sun to put in the background. So what I've done is I've cut a little slit at the back of the mountains there, and I'm going to slide that in and then trim off the excess here. So I'll do that. Hold it in place and just trim that off. There we go. You can tell that I really like crispy golden food, so I'm going to include another food item down the bottom here. And I'm going to pretend these wedges are some jagged rocks. I've got this picture of an elephant. Now he's quite large compared to this little person in the background, so I'm going to put him right at the front there. I asked you to include some people or a person in your artwork. Now mine's already got a person in the background here of my background. I'm going to add some more people. They're quite small, so maybe they can sit as if they're standing on a rock there. What else can I add to this piece? Maybe as a homage to Rene Magritte, I could put a mask on my elephant there. I have this super cute bunny and I really want to use him too, so I think I'm going to put him in the foreground. Now a bunny's much smaller than an elephant, but because he looks a very similar size, I'm going to make sure he's right at the front here to keep in with our scaling there. When you're layering your images onto your background, make sure the images kind of interact with the background and the other subjects that you've got in there as well. So you can see in mine, I'll do a close-up in a minute, you'll be able to see that the elephant's kind of standing on the rock in the background here. And you know, I've got the pie that's the sun behind the trees and that kind of thing. So you want everything to look like, and maybe it should be there to trick the person to think that this maybe could be a real life thing, even though it is really crazy. Once you're happy with how everything's set down, use your glue stick to paste everything down. Why stop at just one collage? Why not make a whole scrapbook of crazy, unusual, fantasy-like collages? Thanks for following along. We can't wait to see what you came up with in your Surrealist collages. Share them with us by using the hashtag #GippsArtAtHome. In the meantime, stay safe and we can't wait to see you next episode.